Good evening and welcome to the Kim B. Davis Show. I'm your host, Kim B. Davis, and it is 2023. Happy New Year, everyone. We have one of our favorite guests. We have Mr. Eric Harp. He is our certified professional fitness trainer and educator. And of course, we're going to talk current events. But our topic for tonight is setting the vision for fitness 2023. Good evening, Mr. Harp. How are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you for having me, Mr. Davis. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, and thank you for being on the show. So, we have so much to talk about because it was the holiday break and we all thought, oh, nothing's happening. And then we had the Speaker of the House issue, and they kept voting and voting and voting and voting. And we were like, for real, for real. We have a debt ceiling issue to talk about. And then there's this little pesky topic that keeps coming up, President Biden and his files at his house. Take it away, Mr. Hart. Break it down for us.
Wow, where to begin? Let's go back to that first one with the Speaker of the House.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know that the slim majority that the Republicans won in the House.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin McCarthy, minority speaker last year.
Right.
Well, now he's going to try to be, majority speaker, and he made deals. He made deals and deals and deals, and they backfired on him because he just couldn't get to 218. No matter how many times they tried, couldn't get to 218. And then all of a sudden, he just gave away what they say. He gave away the House.
He did.
He let the idiots and the savants run the House now. So, that's what it's going to be. And let me sneak something else in.
Sure.
George Santos.
Yes.
George
Santos.
About him.
Talk about it.
Now we got this guy. We don't know who he is.
Exactly.
I mean, there's no Wikipedia page. There's no anything about this guy that's for real. He went to a college and won a volleyball championship and led the team. And
he's half Jewish.
But then he's not Jewish. He's
right.
Jewish.
Exactly.
So, he's like, yeah, I'm not I ain't really Jew. I'm just Jewish, and wow. I'm like, dang, didn't they have a TV show called Blackish?
They did.
Jewish. So, all right. So now we got this George Santos character not quitting. No matter how much, and he's a representative of the people. This whole thing about the Congress is, you're voted in by the people, you work for the people, and it's the people you answer to. Well, it's the people that he answers to, and the people are asking him, demanding him step down. And he refuses to step down. And so now we got this charade. Now this charade right here is going to blow up in these Republicans' faces if they keep letting this go on. Because nothing is going to be real.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to be real. And even if he casts a vote, who is this kid? Now you gotta sneak and grab his glass and get his fingerprints and
a Law and Order
DNA,
episode. Yeah.
A little DNA off the glass. Somebody got the waiter is going to be hired to get his glass every time they pick it up. They're going to find out who this guy is. And he might have a record. What if they find out he's an immigrant and not Jewish, but immigrant-ish? And what happens then? But right now everything is up in the air because we don't even know if his name is George Santos.
Right.
We don't know anything about this guy yet. He was elected. And so that's another thing about the sham of politics. In this day and age with the social media, you can create an identity. Anybody can create any kind of identity that they want to be and pursue it, set up a background, and then become that person. And this is what this character did. And now he's in Congress.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a lot to unravel. So we'll have to sit back and see. Now, I want to talk about, something I came across. We just had Christmas holiday. And over in
Amsterdam, Denmark.
the
Yeah.
Dutch.
The Dutch Antilles. Yeah.
So the Dutch, the Dutch people celebrate Christmas with Santa Claus, and they call him Sinterklaas.
Mm-hmm.
And this Sinterklaas has a helper.
Mm-hmm.
This helper is called Black Pete,
Mm-hmm.
Schwarzer Pete.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, Schwarzer Pete, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
Looked it up, found out that.
Go ahead, talk about it, Mr.
So
Harp.
little Black Pete, you know, he's the one who climbs down the chimney and gets all dirty and delivers the presents.
Mm-hmm.
While Santa Claus, you know, he gets all the credit. You know, he's the manager. He's the head guy. But Black Pete is the worker.
Mm-hmm.
And so this celebration, there's parades and there's floats and there's all kind of paraphernalia of Black
in blackface. In blackface.
And people in blackface.
Yes.
Yeah. And then people walk around in blackface during this parade. And I was just, to this day, they do it to this day. And I didn't know that. And I was kind of shocked. And I was a little amazed and taken aback by that. But it is what it is. And, you know, these legends are worldwide. These insults are worldwide. These these slaps in the face are heard around the world.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So,
Schwarzer Pete, big thing over in Amsterdam, and it just kind of blew my mind. So, and I like Amsterdam. You know, I ain't loving it around Christmas time, but you know. Anyway, so that was a little something that caught my attention, and you know, anybody who's interested, read up on it, find out yourself. I mean, you know, I'll turn a little angry if I start talking too much about it. So, but blackface, people walk around in blackface in celebration of Black Pete, Schwarzer Pete. And then the last thing I want to talk about, you know, is this the Idaho murders.
Oh yeah.
You know, this is just ridiculous. You know, got this, you know, there's killings all over the place. There's people dying all over the place. But this is taking headlines.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've seen this guy on camera, but he is stone-faced, no emotion. I was like, wow.
Right.
Wow. This is, well, you know, it's just horrible. And then another guy who bought $400 or what did you buy? $400,000 worth of cleaning? Not 400,000, but he bought a lot of money worth of cleaning materials, and was searching online on how to dispose of a 5'2" woman.
Yeah.
And wound up killing his wife, dismembering her and burying her. And I mean, you know, it's a sick world we live in.
It very much so.
Unfortunately, this is nothing new under the sun. It's just a sick world we live in. And these are just some of the recent headlines since we've talked last. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And, you know, I believe he's 12 or 13. I believe he's 13. Young boy killed by a bystander with a gun, as other media outlets will call it, a good guy with a gun. This kid was outside, and this man thought that he was bothering cars. I guess there have been a rash of car thefts and some other things, and this kid just happened to be there. Now, what we don't know is, was this kid doing something that he wasn't supposed to do? We'll never know that, because the guy came out and shot him. And killed him. And he's 13. And, you know, I have been reminded over the last few weeks that there's a privilege to everyone else in the world except for Black people. You know, you talk about Black Pete and the fact that he's the worker. He's the one that does the dirty work. He gets dirty.
He climbs down the chimney.
He climbs down the chimney. He does all the things that, you know, Santa Claus is supposed to do, and Santa Claus gets all the credit for it. Yet here in America, Black folks built this country. yet we are the first ones that are gunned down. Our girls are looked at, even at the age of 8, as if they are teenagers or young women and their children. Our young boys, who clearly are children, but some are baby giants, like my son, who's 6 feet tall at the age of 14. And people look at him, oh, that's a man. And he's not a man. He's 14. He is goofy like a child. But unfortunately, because we live where we live in this day and age, he has to be instructed on how to act and behave. There was a teacher who taught someplace on the East Coast, went home to, where was it in California? San Francisco, LA, someplace, and was pulled over by the cops or something, and they ended up killing him. From what I understand, there was an accident, and it sounded like he got into an accident. And the video that I've seen, he started having an anxiety attack, and he said, they're trying to George Floyd me. And the police officer said, you need to calm down or I'm going to tase you. And they
This is
tased
on
him.
video.
This is on video. This is
Yeah,
on video. And they tased him to death. They
I saw
tased him
that.
to death.
Yeah.
And I want to connect all these dots because we have Kevin McCarthy, who, what was it, 20 times, had to finally get enough votes and give away, as you said, the house, the car, the kitchen sink, everything, to be Speaker of the House, which now I believe is a weakened position because you're not coming from a position of strength. You just wanted to office.
Well,
so you giving away.
I'm sorry.
That's
you
okay. Go ahead.
The first bill that they came with was a tax cut.
Exactly. For who?
For the rich.
Yep. Not working class people. That tells you what the priorities are.
They screamed about the border, screamed about inflation, they screamed about spending bills, they screamed about all of these different things. And now the first bill that Kevin McCarthy and his party come across with is a tax bill.
Yeah.
A tax bill for the middle class and the lower class, because they're going to give a tax cut to the rich. And so, you know, with all of the different things that are going on, here comes perfect timing. Within the last 48 hours, the president has had classified documents found in his garage from when he was vice president under Barack Obama.
Yes.
Now, immediately it becomes comparisons. So immediately you have people who want to say, well, apples to apples.
Yep.
You did this to Trump, and now look at it. Here comes Biden doing the exact same thing. Well, you know, the argument is valid to a point. But Trump was subpoenaed for his. Right. Joe Biden found his and immediately contacted the archives. Okay. Now that's one big difference. Okay?
It is.
How someone may come across these papers and take them with them. He could have had them in a briefcase, took them home.
Exactly.
He had a secure information facility called a SCIF in his home when he was a vice president. So he was able to disseminate that kind of information.
Work from home.
You're
the vice president.
No, that's possible.
You're the vice president. This isn't, I am the president of the local whatever, and I can drive to my office. The vice president, it might be something at 3 a.m. that you need to attend to. You may not have time to run to your office.
Okay. Now, this is not Mar-a-Lago.
No, not at all.
This is not some hotel where thousands of people go in and out. You know, this is his home, his garage, his locked up facility, cabinet, whatever. You know, listen, it's not a garage like you and me got.
Right.
You know, his garage could probably hold 12 cars.
Probably. And it's secure. You can't roll up in that neighborhood and say, oh, hey, I just want to stop by Joe's house for a minute. They'll be like, who are you?
Exactly. So my point is, you know, now that's when the comparisons stop. Trump has been illegal his whole life.
He sure has.
So, you know, so why would he be at this one moment. So I'm so honest. I declassified them.
In
You
his
know,
own mind, in his own
well,
mind.
Without having to rehash all of that. That's where the similarities end and the differences begin.
Yeah.
So so again, this is going to be a wait and see because this is just 2 days old. By the time the people hear this, it'll be older. But right now, it is what it is. Okay.
It is.
And it's unfortunate because this is that perfect timing where all you need is distractions. Some more distractions while we sneaks in some other stuff. And this George Santos now becomes embedded in the Congress.
Yes.
And it's going to have an impeaching vote.
Right. And let me add, this is one of the, not this particular Congress, but Congress as a whole. These are all millionaires. Many of them are wealthy beyond reason. I don't mean Bill Gates wealthy, but wealthy enough that when you look at them, if you miss a few days of work or a year of work, you're okay. It's not like, you're going to fall apart. You aren't living paycheck to paycheck. At least you shouldn't be. Not at the income level where they are. I find it interesting because you're right. A tax cut, reproductive rights. They pushed out something for reproductive rights. And I was just like, didn't we just have a vote on that? Didn't you all not understand that? And now we have California is getting flooded with all these storms. And we still have people talking about climate change isn't real. Climate change isn't real. Here we are in Michigan, Mr. Harp. Have you ever remembered a January where it just rains and we don't have snow?
Have you remembered it being warm like this?
I have not. I have not.
Well, just a week ago, did they have 60 tornadoes go down south?
Yes.
Tore up Alabama and Georgia? I mean, trees just blown out the ground?
Yes.
But I'm just amazed, not just 1, 2 tornadoes, I'm talking 60. What's the world coming to? You got 60 tornadoes and we just hearing about it overnight?
And was it in England? They said it's the warmest it's ever been. This is the warmest winter. And, we like our sci-fi movies where they talk about some stuff. I'm like, there's a movie that kind of talks about that called The Day After Tomorrow. Where he's the climatologist and he has to go find his son in frozen over New York. It's a really good movie if you just want to watch a movie. But I remember they were talking about it, and all of a sudden all this cold wind just came out of nowhere, and most of the United States and Europe was frozen over, and Americans had to escape to Mexico. I thought that was funny, but
they won't let us in.
They won't let us in. They were at the border like, please let us in. But, we are looking at things that I don't think any of us ever thought about. And it's interesting because I just gave this fact. They said that California right now has more snow in the northern part of the state, which has increased the water basin. So if this trend of very wet weather comes, it's going to reverse the drought in California. Ironically, places like Italy, Switzerland, where people go and ski, they don't have any snow. It's too warm. And if they do, it's like a dusting or an inch. And so they are struggling with tourism of trying to get people to come and ski, but there's no snow. I'm like, wow.
That's listen, climate change is real.
It is.
Climate change, and what's even worse is that here we have watching movies and you get lost in the movie and you start thinking certain movies are real. Then when real life happens,
You're like,
it's almost like it's like the movie,
Mm-hmm.
but you
Mm-hmm.
don't believe it.
Right. Until it happens. And then you're like when COVID happened, when it first happened, and everybody was like, this is like a horror movie. I said, it's not a horror movie. I said, there's a movie called Contagion that was made about this. I said, it is very close to what we saw between anarchy, communities breaking down. Unfortunately, the movie went a little bit further. They had to call in National Guard in certain places. They didn't necessarily have to do that. But I can see that if we lock down again, oh, you would have to call the National Guardian, because there are many people who are just like, I'm not staying home. Just like when you go places and people are like, can you put your mask on? Why?
For
It's
what?
COVID. Right. It's just COVID.
What?
We just
Why
got to
should I
live
put a
with it.
mask on?
Right. It's just COVID. We just have to live with it. I'm like, this is why it's still hanging around.
You know, what about the kids? Still got to get the kids immunized, you know, and it's one of those things where pretty soon they're going to have to pass a law in order to make it one of those vaccinations that you have to get when you enter in kindergarten. You know, I don't even know if diphtheria is still around.
Right.
You know, you're still getting a vaccine for it.
You sure are.
You know, we are all getting vaccines for typhoid.
Measles, mumps, rubella, chickenpox.
Come on. We get all of these vaccinations to make sure that that stuff doesn't creep back up. But we are in this, you know, we're in this age at the moment where we don't care.
You're right.
You know, so what? It's not that bad. It ain't me that died.
Right.
You know, I spoke to someone recently who's just had it for the 4th time.
Ooh.
And was, this time it wasn't so bad. Oh. And wow.
Right. Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, I say that to say, you know, and not for people who catch it, whether they're vaccinated or not. I mean, it's a horrible thing to catch. What it is that we still don't take it seriously enough. That we still don't take it enough that we mandate. You know, the mandate for the mask, drove people crazy.
It did.
The mandate for a vaccination drove people crazy, willing to lose jobs, willing to lose careers. You know, and then once they relax the vaccination mandate, now they want to turn around and sue the company for having it in the first place.
Right.
You know, so.
But they don't want to come back to work. Everybody wants to work from home.
Well, working from home, as long as they're working. Because you got the other half of people talking about whoever's still collecting unemployment checks. That the government was giving extra. I mean, I don't know where that's happening.
Right. I don't know where that's happening either.
I don't know where any more stimulus checks are coming from. So blaming any administration for handing out money, I don't know where that's coming from.
Right.
You know, we're still having the arguments about defunding the police. And so, just as you mentioned, recently we saw another George Floyd type situation on video. I saw the video. You just mentioned about it. It's not gotten big attention. It's not gotten that big of attention. You know, it's not on your national news.
Right.
It's not, I haven't seen Joy Reid talking about it yet.
It's normalized. It's normalized.
Normalized. Exactly. And so, you know, these type of things, you know, we talking defund the police, defund the police, defund the police, so that we can take some of the bad apples out, so that we can take some of the assault weapons out of the hands of these terrorist type of police departments. Okay, not talk about operational budgets. We're talking about SWAT teams. You know, now at the same time, you got your FBI raiding the Trump compound And now you hear the defund the police for the last couple months, coming louder from the Republican side. Okay. And how quickly we forget that we just screamed that a couple months ago, because now here we are back into why are we talking about defund the police? Why are we talking about defund the police? A child just shot his teacher.
Yes.
A student shot his teacher.
A 6-year-old student.
A 6-year-old student shot his teacher.
And thankfully she's recovering.
Oh, yes.
However, it's a 6-year-old student
6-year-old with a gun
that gained access to a gun, came to school and shot his teacher.
A 6-year-old with anger issues.
Yes.
That wants to come and shoot a teacher.
Yes. That takes a lot of thought. Not necessarily planning, right? Not necessarily planning like what we would think of as an adult, but this kid said, I'm going to go home, get a gun, come back to school and shoot my teacher. And does he or she, because I don't remember if it's a girl.
6 years old, going to sleep on your anger like that.
Right. But
and
not only that,
anger like that.
Right. But do you understand the consequences of your action? That's my question.
Of course not. Not at 6 years old.
Right. And we would think that. We would think that. But you know what, Mr. Harp, I have watched some cases where people have talked about psychopathic children, and some children that they'll show you a picture and you're like, I don't know.
I don't mean to laugh at that.
I know, but you understand.
I know what you mean.
Yes. You like, well, he's 6, but
watch out for that one.
Watch out for that one, because that one is different. And it is interesting. And it's like you said, it is what it is. We keep seeing the replaying of so many things. We all thought, not that we thought, because we understood it, but so many people said, but we watched George Floyd die on video. We saw it on national television. We vowed to change. Where's the change? Because how many videos have we seen since then? There was one every day, if not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 per day. You still have police departments that there was a video I saw of some police officers in Florida. Lady was on the beach. They tackled her wig flew off and pushed her on the ground. And all the police are like, back up, back up, back up. I don't know what the circumstances are behind it. All I know is that in this country, we are much more aggressive than what it seems like we need to be in certain
circumstances. Across the board. That's across the board. I mean, that's across the board. People are just much more aggressive, everywhere it is. And, the change has made the non-committal to do things. No one's committing to doing anything because no one believes that a change can be made. Not many believe a change can be made. Recently, we just celebrated Martin Luther King Day. And, his speeches have been played through the radios, the televisions, all over. And I have a dream that one day, I have a dream that one day, and we're dropping the ball, continuously dropping the ball. Because it's not on Black people. It's not for white people to help Black people. That's not what we're talking about. This is a concerted effort.
Right.
So the Congress makes the laws. Without them, can't complain about breaking laws.
Right.
Congress makes the laws. And so if they really want to change something with the border, make a law. They really wanted to change something with policing, change the laws.
But what does it say, Mr. Harp, when you elect someone and you don't know their real name? The things that they say are like, you don't know if they have the education that they proclaim to have. Not saying that being elected official, you have to have an education. You should, I believe, you should understand at least how the government works. We see that with a few other people who make statements, and we're like, okay, wait, did you not have high school civics class?
Right.
But if we're electing criminals, what does that say?
We already did. We had a president. We had a president for 4 years.
We did. A grifter.
Who's done shady business all the time. Who said
and still doing shady.
Listen,
yes.
He said it in his campaign. He said, I know the system is messed up because I use it.
Yes.
And we just sat back and said, ha, 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 ha. That's my guy.
Yep. And people still proclaiming him.
And that's what's happening right now. So that's what we are with the George Santos. I pray for the people on the West Coast because fire during the summer, water during the winter, that state is getting hit right now. Because when the water comes down the mountains and it's going to flood those dry valleys, and those streets, and it's devastation.
Yeah.
And you got water on the other side. You got the ocean on the other side.
Right.
Because it does feed into the water, and then now we cresting over the top of the land, and here we go.
Yeah.
And and getting the high ground is not that easy. So I'll pray for my people on the West Coast and hope that we can make it through this ecological warfare, especially for my people in the South, because those tornadoes really did some damage.
They did. They did.
Us here in Michigan, we're not chilling in the warmth. I mean, it's gotten really cold, and then get back to some, 40s and 50s in January ain't bad.
No, it's not.
So I'm not complaining at all. The car starts and runs a lot better.
It does. Then when it's 10 degrees outside.
Oh, most definitely.
So, Mr. Harp, let's switch gears. So we're talking about weather. And so a lot of people are like, okay, it's January. I know everything that's going on currently, politics, all that, but I need to get my fitness together. Yeah. And I'm trying to set a vision for myself. Maybe I'll go to the gym and I'll run on the treadmill for 30 minutes and I'll watch CNN, Fox, MSNBC, something.
Right.
You can do that.
Watch the game. You can go in the evening, watch the game.
Right. Yeah. There are people in Michigan who are like, ooh, it's 40 degrees. It's 50 degrees. I can go and get my evening run or my morning run and not suffer.
Right.
Mr. Hart, what are some tips that people should think about and do before you set a fitness goal in terms of being realistic and reasonable?
Well, let's come on. Well, if you're having any injuries, nagging injuries, see a doctor. Don't try to run through it. Don't try to push through it. See a doctor. If you're having any arthritis pain, if you're having any joint pain, see a doctor and see if there's anything that we can do with the doctor to get you ready in order to start working out. Now, working out doesn't always have to involve weights. Weight training is good. Resistance training is really good. And there are several ways you can go about it. But weights is definitely one way to increase muscle mass and bone density. So working out with weights, but there's also resistance bands. Okay, for those who can't use weights, resistance bands are really good. You can wrap them around your wrists and open your hands. Okay. Now that's something you can do at home. You don't have to go to the gym for that. You can get some resistance band. You can take that same resistance band and put it around your calves and then open your knees. And you'll work on your outer thighs. Okay. There's a lot of different things that you can do at home. Now, that's resistance training.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the new year. So for those that are more those who live a more sedimentary life, who sit
Mm-hmm.
around a little bit, we want to get you moving. We want to get you moving. Turn on that television and just march in place. Put your favorite song on and just march to the beat. You know, sway a little bit side to side. And remember, nobody's looking, so you can go ahead and you can get into it. All right. But move a little bit. Get the heart rate moving. If you're going to the gym, get on those weights. Get on that treadmill. Walk it out. Run it out. Ride that bike. It's the perfect time to do it. It's the new year. What better time to do it when we're all looking for something new?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we set a plan, if you haven't been to the gym before, see if there's any personal trainers or helpful staff at the gym to see if they can help as they tour you around the gym to help give you a better plan of how you can use the facilities.
Okay.
If you're a little bit more seasoned at this, you can go ahead and you can start planning out your week by week. How many days are you going to go this week? Are you going to go 3 days this week? Okay. How many can you go next week?
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's work out a schedule. Can you do this for a month? Okay. Now, a lot of people shoot long and then fall short.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how about start easy? Start short. Start in the short range. Go to the gym this week. How many days can you get in this week? Join a class if you can. A lot of gyms have fitness classes. Get in one of the Zumba classes. Get in something that's a little up-tempo. The room's kind of dark. The lights are low and the music's loud. And you can just blend in with the people. Get into one of those classes if you're so inclined. But get your heart rate going. Try it out for a week. Try it again the next week. Try it again the next week. When you look back, you just put in a couple weeks. And now it made your paying for that first month worth it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get stuck in a bill that you're not paying for. How many days can you go this week? But we all have lives to live.
Mm-hmm.
So what works best? Try to find that. Does it work better for you to work out in the morning before work? Does it work better for you to work out after work? We have lives, we have families. Can we use our children? Can we take our children? A lot of facilities have spaces for children with little fitness where you can drop the kids off and then daycare while you work out at the gym and pick them up on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
It can be done. You know, there's nothing that's impossible. So now it's the new year. Get up and do something. All right. Now, I would love to tell you exactly how to do it, what to do it, when to do it, what time to do it, how many repetitions to do it. We're not on that program right now. See a trainer at your gym and get on the program like that if you're so inclined.
Mm-hmm.
But we need you to get in. Need you to get in. Find a way to come in. If your gym has a pool, start swimming. If you like to swim, swim. Many gyms have a hot tub. So as soon as you finish working out, go get in that hot tub. Sauna, steam rooms. Take the relaxations that they offer because it'll help you when you're recovering. And then next thing you know, you're really liking the place.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, it's like, uh-oh, I have to be there at 6 o'clock. Next thing you know, it's like, wait a minute, I've been doing this for a couple months. I'm feeling pretty good. Just let it happen. A lot of us shoot too long and then our expectations, doesn't meet our expectations. And so we give up. We buy the best equipment in hopes to use it and it becomes a coat rack.
Mm-hmm. So how do we balance those expectations, Mr. Harp? Because that's an important point.
Allow yourself to fail. Allow yourself to fail.
Very good.
Okay. And allowing yourself to fail, knowing that, hey, I'm stronger and I'm better than this. Okay, I didn't make it to the gym this week, but I planned on going. So how about next time you plan on going, go.
Mm-hmm.
Don't beat yourself up. No need to beat yourself up and say, oh, there I go again. I didn't make it. Okay, here I same old thing. No need to beat yourself up. Allow yourself to fail because it's a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we stumble. And when we stumble, we just have to get back up. And one of the best things to do is to have a partner. So if you can have a partner that goes to the gym with you, find a friend. Talk it out. What would you like to do? What would you like to see happen? I want to work on my arms. I want to work on my abs. I want to work on this. Now it becomes okay, girl, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, man, let's go. I'll meet you at the gym, 4:30. Next thing you know, you're liking it. You're building a relationship with your friend and you're working out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But just go. It's the new year and it's no better time. Of course, gyms are sending out all kind of offers and flyers and discounts, and take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Go in, and now is the best time because it gets more expensive later. Go in now and just get on that treadmill, put on your headphones, listen to your favorite music, and just walk for 15 minutes. Just walk for 15 minutes. And if you can walk for 15 minutes, walk another 10 minutes. You just walk for 25 minutes.
There you go.
You got to cool down. You can change your pace. You can walk slow. You can walk fast. And then the next thing you know, you're back on track.
Excellent. Excellent advice, Mr. Harp. Thank you for coming on the Kim B. Davis Show and giving us a kick in the pants and a pep talk on what we need to do. Because some of us, I'm not going to name any names, we need to get back in the gym and do some things. Mr. Harp, before we get out of here, tell us how we can reach you. Tell us where we can find you on social media and how we can follow you.
Well, I'm Eric Harp on your social media platforms. EricHarp9@gmail.com. Look me up. Talk to me. I'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Harp. We know it's great to always have you on the show talking fitness and current events, and we can't wait until next month when I'm sure there'll be more political headlines for us to talk about, for us to talk about, and more on fitness coming up. So thank you again for coming on the Kim B. Davis Show. We sure appreciate you.
Stay blessed, my sister, and I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Kim B. Davis Show. You guys can find me everywhere on social media, and that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, LinkedIn. I think I said all of them, but everywhere it's Kimberly Batchelor Davis. That's BATCHELOR. You can see this show on youtube.com/Kimberly Batchelor Davis. You can hear this show on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, and Wisdom. And you can learn more about me as an author at kimbdavis.com. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope you'll join us on our next episode. And as always, remember, be magnificent.